Sports Spring Invitational.
I tell you, there's long and long, and that with a little bit of breeze behind, it's long.
He rode the wind there to payday. He's going to have a good look coming up. Well, this is the kind of wind that separates the great players from the average players. You really have to be strong to handle these kinds of winds. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up.
It's at sneaky distance.
Well, that's how you keep around going, make putts just like that. Ready to tee off here at the second hole. Quite a view from up here, Frank.
Once again, big elevated tee. It's hard to imagine you have a tee that high up, but that'll shorten that 445 yards. Obviously, it's a dog leg left. You've got to be careful if you hit driver and two straight, because then you can run out. A nice tee shot in the middle there, and then you've got a relatively straight shot into this sort of par 4 green, obviously going a little bit back up the hill. And once again, a little bit like that opening hole, sort of different tiers on that green. Try and make sure that you're on the right one.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday. Frank, this is the kind of start every player wants.
Yeah, swinging it well. Certainly hitting the ball in the right place there. And, yep, good thing, too. He's actually putting well.
That one was running so hot. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Frank, how good was that just to get it on the green?
Well, from that shot there, you would have thought for sure that there was no chance he had of finding the green. That was some shot.
So a drop shot here at the third hole, Frank.
Yeah, another putt missed.
Bogey here yesterday. Chance to better that today. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the fourth. Frank, the Maserati's tuned up early, running 120 on the first few holes here.
Yeah, you've got all 12 cylinders going. Just a player in full flight. It's amazing how that club's tearing through the air, I don't know, 100, 120 miles an hour. Ball just sailing down the fairway. Managing to hold those greens. And, of course, the greens today are putting so beautifully. So we have a chance to just sort of light it up there today.
Just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Go ahead and do that for birdie. How about this hole, Frank? Par 5 fifth.
If you stand on this tee for the first time, you've got virtually no idea where you've got to aim. Do you aim it left of those bunkers? Do you aim it over the sort of the canyon? Really, the answer is how far do you hit it, because that is going to determine the line that you hit it on. Avoid the water, that little stream, but you can always have a drink on the way if you want to, I guess. Second shot plays uphill, but this is a relatively short par 5, so very reachable. But you're going to see, you've got to flight that second shot. You want to make sure that ball's coming in nice and high to this green that's perched up.
So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
So going well up the hill to that green will need to take an extra club here. That's a nice approach shot. It's about 15 feet away. A good chance for a birdie. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole. Whoa, that was unexplainable. I thought that was easily going to be a par.
Yeah, we'll have to focus, try to make bogey. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
Here at the 6th, 447-yard par 4. Pretty good hole, Frank.
Yeah, probably a layup hole, too, for the longer hitters. Something out there around the 280, 290-yard mark to make sure you don't go it in the stream. Obviously, it's a dogleg right, as you can see. The canyon on both sides is sort of well-defined, so you know where not to go. Second shot plays a little bit back up the hill to a green, once again, that's anything other than flat. It's fun. You've got to make sure you get that ball on the right tier if you want to have a birdie putt here.
Second shot here at the 6th at Wolf Creek. What do you think of this approach, Frank?
Well, it's decision time, really, Rich. Do you want to try and fly it onto this green, or do you try and run it in between those two bunkers? Personally, I think you've got to fly it because you've got a backstop behind the screen. All the mountains that sort of protect the back of the screen. If anything, it should run back on.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Oh, man. You can't miss him from that distance. Just 5 feet left. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
So just a formality.
In the big scheme of things, that bogey won't even count.
Frank, a very short par 4 here at the 7th, but not one you're going to try to hit off the tee?
No, unless you can fly the ball sort of 300 yards on the nose and stop it within sort of 5 or 6 yards, it's really too risky. This green is not very deep, just sort of 10 or 15 yards in depth. It's just a layup hole, but layup hole it simply doesn't mean grab a club and hit it down the fairway. The best way to play it is to try and hit the ball right on the number. And what I mean by number, I mean the full shot yardage for your second shot, even if that only is a sand iron.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Not terrible, but not his best.
An outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
That was not a very good read right there. He'll take par and move on. Frank, this is the kind of hole you like to drop a bag of balls and just have fun. Hit it all day long as if you were at the range. Unfortunately, you only get one crack, and you better be good. This is a tough hole.
Well, if you find the water, actually, you might get another one up there. It certainly is a tough hole, though, Rich. The stream going all the way down the left-hand side, and that wraps right around the left and behind the screen, makes that tee shot, well, it certainly makes you think about that tee shot while you're on the tee. Prudent play, aim for the right edge of the green. Nothing wrong if you just miss the green on the right, but miss the green by a yard on the left, you pay a very steep price.
Made par yesterday, this one for birdie.
Had every chance of going in.
A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. So has the par. Moving on to the next hole in the lead, Frank is very much intact. Finishing up this front side here at the par 4 ninth, 390 yards. And what are we looking at, Frank?
Well, it looks relatively straightforward, but it's anything other than that. Decision time again. Do you lay it up into that wide area of the fairway? If you're a longer hitter and you are out here to have a little bit of fun, then maybe you want to take the head cover off because you get a little bit of an advantage if you can drive it over that last bunk on that right side, or at least take that out of play, because you're only going to have a short pitch in here.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Setting up to start the back nine here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front nine, Frank Hill will be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. 12 feet still to go. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Has his par. Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11th here at Wolf Creek.
Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you, and remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around there. A good shot safely on the putting surface here, and this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at, or even at least experience.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. He's made it. From a par 3 to a par 5 here at the 12th. It measures 560 yards, a sweeping dogleg left, and there is some trouble down that left side.
This is a scary tee shot. There's no two ways about it, Rich. You've got to get the ball in play because you can really rack up a good score here. That water very much in play. Doesn't matter what club you decide to hit off the tee. 560 yards actually is reachable, believe it or not. But you've got to get it on the fairway. You don't really have to be too brave and try and take too much over there. The other thing, too, to consider about is this green is nearly half the length of an NFL football field. It's 55 yards from the front of this green to the back of the green.
That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at Eagle coming up. Locked in on the read and the speed. So close. So early on the backside here at the 12th hole, missed opportunity. Will make birdie if he holds this putt. Good putt. 13th hole, and Frank, Wolf Creek is really kind of a macho golf course because you can stand on a tee like this and say, you know what? I'm going to take this one over the mountains.
And then, if you do, then you flip the coin. Is it in play or is it out of play? This is one hole. You just you realize you're in the middle of the desert, that's for sure. And one hole that you think, well, if I play this hole a couple of times, I might just get the hang of it. Should be safely on deck.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. That is a painful miss right there. And a bogey. Drop shot here at the 13th. In for a bogey. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's why you got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side.
And you can see a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Frank, not close, but from that line, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich. It's no snack, though. You'd like that one again.
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
So just a formality. That's a bogey. but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Now to the short par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank? Just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And, well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down on those bunkers because they're, well, a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, who doesn't go aiming at the flag? This looks like it's going to find the target.
I mean, really on top of his game right now. That was a splendid approach shot. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round.
A tough break.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Has it. Good putt right there. From a short par 3 to a short par 4. Just 393 yards here at the 16th, Frank.
And when you stand on this tee, this hole looks anything other than straight. Goes to the left and comes back to the right. But if you can just fixate at the green in the distance, you're actually going to look like a relatively straight par 4. And that's the way the hole should be played. Look at those first 2 bunkers that you see and just try and split those. Good tee shot here and nothing more than a wedge left into this green. Simplify it. That's the key.
In the greenside bunker here, Frank. Nice to go to the beach, but not too often, we hope. And great execution. Right out of the bunker and right next to the hole. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. In the hole and a birdie. Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 17th. You can make up some ground in a hurry as you come down the finishing stretch.
You certainly can. A good drive short of the little stream creek that runs across there, and this is doable as a 2-shotter. If you find the bunkers or trouble off the tee, then obviously you're forced to lay up, leaving that 3rd shot across the water. But really a fun hole if you want to try and take that 2nd shot on.
Okay, the 2nd shot now at this par 5. Oh no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
So the eagle goes begging. He still has this for birdie. These putts keep the round together. Frank, this is a player in full flight right now.
It looks too easy right now.
Now the closing hole here at Wolf Creek. Frank, what's ahead of us?
You could try and drive at this green, but there's too much trouble, really, Rich. Even though this hole's just over 300 yards, it's very ambitious to try and drive it across that water. Some might try. Most people try and hit a tee shot 240, 250-yard mark, and of course, you do the maths, you're only going to have 60 or 70 yards in, and, well, they want you to finish on a good note. So good drive in the fairway here, or 3-wood, pitch it on the green, make a 3, and buy your friends a drink in the clubhouse.
This to win the EA Sports Spring Invitational. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. And getting ready for the putt. Frank, that looked good to me. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Continues to roll it very well all day long. Just a great putt and a great win.